It's Guido coming at you with a Tactics Talk. Good morning, guys. A little late on this one, but been very busy lately. Today we've got Jeb2. He is back in his, what is an A25 HHI? The Harry Hopkins. The Harry Hopkins. I don't even like saying that. Anyway, it is a Tier 4 British tank. Look at this little guy. Little fella, lots of little fellas, because this is a pure Tier 4 battle. You don't see a lot of these, my friends. And you may notice, I believe there's only 12 tanks on each side, Math and Public. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we're missing some people, right? Usually it's a 15v15, but you will find this at the lower tiers. Why are we down here in the dregs, in the basement of World of Tanks? Well, because you can get your Battle Pass stuff done at Tier 4. And frankly, there's cool tanks down there. I am actually a fan of that move by Wargaming to swap that around a little bit, to change it up, to allow the Tier 4s and 5s to get Battle Pass points. That means you may want to know which tanks are the right tanks to have down at Tier 4. Now, I'm not saying old Harry here is the right tank, but let's see if Jeb turns it into the right tank, because I think, as I've gone through this a bit and we've seen a few videos, I would say that, in general, my opinion of which tank, air quotes, let me just scooch myself over, which is the best tank, really depends on which tank you want to play, to be quite honest. I don't think it matters, guys. There's probably some that are better than others, but at the end of the day, it has to do with what you like playing. And what's kind of cool here is Jeb, I don't know if Jeb likes the Harry Hopkins. I think he mentioned that he noticed he had it, and he just decided to try it. So that's pretty cool. These are tanks, Tier 4 and 5, that I think a lot of you, me included, don't play very much. And I've always said, amongst all the many things I've always said, because I always claim that I always said it when it becomes a thing. I don't. You have to understand that, right? When it's the thing, when it's the new thing, then you have to claim that you always said it. So that's what I like to do. I like to say that I've always said there's a lot of cool tanks down at the lower tiers. They don't get played enough, I think. There hasn't been a whole lot of content for them in terms of challenges, tournaments, events. In the case of Battle Pass, you just plain old couldn't get any points out of Tier 4 and Tier 5. So I wonder if that really had to have, I believe, caused a lot of those tiers to have just fewer players. Now, he stands in and just duels with the IT3. Ends up killing him off. The IT3 missed a lot. The tanks down at the lower tiers tend to be much worse in terms of gun handling. They obviously have lower alpha to go with their lower HP. Speed-wise, they're not too far off a lot of times, the tanks at the higher tiers. Some of them anyway. However, some of them are extremely slow. So you will find some of the slower tanks in the game down here at this tier for sure. He's going to run in here and try to help out with the BZ B2 or PZ B2, but dies too quickly, and we've got a whole 187 hit points. Now, I haven't talked too much about how this battle has gone, but let's take a quick look, come up for a breath. This is pretty classic Tier 4. I have no idea what's happening. There's multiple guys camping on the purple team. There's a good number of Jeb's teammates back here as well. There's a bunch of purples running around the middle where a couple greens have died, and some greens have pushed through on the field side over on the east. Now, remember, there were 3 missing tanks. This is a very small map, very crowded map. You take 3 tanks out, it opens it up a bit and allows a little bit more shenanigans and movement, especially early in the game. So we were down 3 to begin with. We've lost 3 on each team. So Math and Public, we got 9 tanks left on a smaller map. So now we've got a little bit more of a wide open situation. And that's another thing that's kind of fun. Let's go ahead and see what Jeb's doing, because the guy came out behind him there. That's one of the other things that's kind of fun about this tier, and you guys have mentioned several times, and we've seen that in the various games I've played recently at Tier 4. It's just usually chaos. It's going to be probably not a meta setup. So you really need to be on your toes on how it's played. And don't get mad if what you're doing is meta and the rest of the team isn't. You have to adjust to what your team's doing and then try to make the best of it from there. Old Harry's giving the old side armor there. Jeb now see that guy just rolls through, doesn't see anything. So, if this is a great example right here. Look at the chaos of this fight. There's guys in every direction. So it's no surprise that the 2001 came screaming around the corner being chased by the BT-7 and doesn't see our hero Jeb sitting there staring right at him. There's just too many guys in too many directions. There's just quite the scrum going on right here. Recently, Wargaming did come in and add some hit points and some ammo to some of these lower tier tanks, I think tier 4 especially, which allowed the games to go on maybe just a little bit longer. See, look at that, just a little tiny alpha on this thing. Allowed the game to go on just a bit longer, so it made it a little bit more fun in terms of having some hit points to stick around just a bit. Uh-oh, this is looking bad for our hero. Looking bad. But guys are missing. Look, the Panzer 3J missed. That thing has a horrible accuracy. Jeb's looking to kill him off, but he can't. He bounces one. Now he's got a guy behind him. Panzer 3J behind him. Now he's got to run forward. Maybe kill this guy off. It's going to take at least 2 hits, or 3 now. He gets... the fairly aimed one bounced or missed, whatever happened at the end there. And the shot while the guy was moving and he was moving his turret nails him. Looking like we're going to have a win out of this. Remember, you've got to be top 10, I believe, to get your Battle Pass points. Looks like he's going to be up there with 600 damage, 312 assist. I don't remember. This might have been an ace. I've got a couple games here to do videos on. We'll take a look at the end plates at the end, but he has a decent result. And kind of a fun little game. I mean, honestly, if you're looking for something a little bit different in World of Tanks, and this is probably a strange statement if you think about it, but if you're looking for something different right now in World of Tanks, go play Tier 4 and 5. Especially Tier 4. I do hesitate to some extent because a lot of you guys are experienced players, so there is the issue of seal clubbing, and I don't want to discourage newer players, but the tier is a lot of fun. You get Battle Pass points for it. There's probably a lot more people right now, especially early on in Battle Pass, that are better players and more experienced that are running around at Tier 4 checking it out. So yeah, it's a bit of a bummer for the newer players. But I'm telling you, if you're looking for something a little bit new and interesting in World of Tanks, go back to the future on that one, man. Go down to Tier 4 and rage around in such tanks as the Harry Hopkins. I don't know what the I means. Harry Hopkins 1, perhaps? The A-25, or any of the other Tier 4 tanks. Let's take a look at the rolls over here. We've got a Luke's. Those are pretty fun. Lago's actually a pretty good Tier 4 tank. Su-85 is a good TD. Stug. I mean, come on. Stug Life, the Stug 3B. There you go. Cruiser 4. BT-7. There's the BT-7 Premium that has the big gun, the big derp gun thing on it. So there's a lot of fun little tanks down at Tier 4. I appreciate you sending that in, Jeb. Thank you. Nice job. 717 damage. If you consider the fact that he was dropping an alpha of 60 or so, 55, that's a pretty good result. That's a lot of shots and a lot of hits to get as much as 717 damage and 312 assists with a bloody 55 alpha gun. There you go, guys. Let me know what you think. What tanks are you running around with? Are you even doing it down at Tier 4 and Tier 5, so to speak? I think I'm going to check it out a little bit more. I really was stuck with the 100 Battle Challenge and the Tier 6 and above tanks, but in order to just sort of spice things up, the more I see this, the more I'm thinking I may cruise down to Tier 4. You will run into things like you had here where you didn't have a full team. I don't know what time of day Jeb was playing this. Could have been late at night. But even sometimes on the NA server especially, even during the day, you can often get games like this down at Tier 4. But let me know what you think. That's all I've got. Have a good one. We will see ya.